right, here we are again. Hello and welcome to yet another week of AbuseCast. So I struggled a lot to decide if I even wanted to do this, and I need to work on the cartoons, so yeah, it's kind of hard to do that and just not turn on the streaming. But still, I don't have a a big reason to be doing this. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth keeping up or what should be done. So yeah, be ready for this to just not be a thing anymore. Eventually, because yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't fit. It's not fitting with what I'm doing. So we'll see how long this goes. But yeah, miserable day. Wet, miserable day here, and I guess we're due for more rain all week because there's another typhoon. So we've had like 24 typhoons this year in the Pacific, and they just keep coming. So yeah, I have no topic, nothing to talk about. I decided to not bother with Inktober this year. All that I would be, that I'm kind of actively doing right now would be this cartoon, and it might be fun for a month to go back and do pen and paper versions of it again, but then again, maybe not. Who cares? I don't know. So I didn't try that, but that might be an approach to take one of these years. But it's already the 4th. Guess I could do some catch up if I get motivated, because it's not that far into the month. But I just last year, just it didn't do much for what I was doing, and I don't like the there's something strange about Instagram. It's just this constant feed of images, and I think people, you just get lost in that ocean of garbage, and people are just constantly chewing through images, and and like we've talked about previously, it's mostly based on fandoms and things that, that's what's motivating people to even look through images, and yeah, it's just disgusting. So not really interested in dealing with that. Maybe shorter. Trying to remember what a Happy Meal box looks like. Not like this. Yeah, I can't remember if it's got like a pitched top on it or not. Maybe it does. Yeah, so the drawing and the conversation is not going to be good today because, yeah, I just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, because I don't know, I was struggling with, even topics to do on here, and I don't know how I got to this in a kind of creative, talking about being creative, but whatever. That's not particularly interesting, and there's a lot of people with newer approaches that may get you better results, and there's all kinds of way to do things. So yeah, I'm not going to be very good today. Yeah, I can't even remember. They're pretty tiny. They do come together at the top, and then there's some sort of, I guess I won't, actually use the arches, because I think it is like golden arches at the top. Yeah, but last year for Inktober, I was, kind of in the middle of working through the next Citizen Spaceman, and that didn't go anywhere, and I'm not doing shows this year to support that, so there's no point in continuing on with that. So yeah, there's no point, and yeah, it's fun to see there's some fun people out there, and then there's a lot of people that draw on Instagram that all have almost identical artwork. It's there's this weird style infection that I think the internet kind of perpetuates. It's just kind of this weird, Chinese anime Disney thing that's going on now, that how most people are drawing. So not interested in looking at a lot of that. just like this bootleg Japanese style with a lot of Disney influence. So basically, like all the concept art for their CG. I guess that's all they do anymore. But all their computer features, it all looks like that now. So I need to look at a bunch of that, and people doing these idealized kind of diary images, their life and the sweetness and beauty of their life, when their puppy licking up their tears, or their heartbreak with whatever. It's who cares? I mean, obviously, people that have not lived or done anything besides be students, and they're trying to put content from their life into their work. Just ugh. I guess a bunch of other students would love to look at that, but the rest of the world is not impressed, not interested at all. So yeah, that kind of stuff is very weird, and a lot of blogs and things are just bringing you these new artisans, the same thing over and over again. Not very not very interesting, but somebody must like it because people won't stop doing it. Ugh. All right, trying to think of other kinds of boxes. Yeah, the donut box, that flat donut box, but there used to be yeah, there's a long handle or a long donut box here that has a handle on it. And they don't do dozens of donuts. I mean, I think because that's an excessive number unless you're buying for an office or something here. So they don't do a dozen donuts. Even the Krispy Kreme flat boxes here are only 6 donuts. So if you want a dozen donuts, you get 2 of those. Whereas in the US, they have the huge flat that holds a dozen. That big box. So, but I think, yeah, it's always good to do your own thing and not get too... I think there's so many artists online now that are so into following, whatever's going to get them likes and followers or subscribers or Patreon patrons or whatever, that it's becoming a bit of a, follow the leader, and they're just kind of watching each other and ripping off, each other's strategies. Yeah, it's a bit like if you took those horrible like local art fairs and stuff where, in the town, like the little park in the middle of town, they set up little card tables with local artists on it that paint horses on cork beverage coasters or whatever, that kind of garbage. It's almost like that. It's almost like that thing has infected the internet, and the people are kind of, because they can generate some sort of following, because there are so many idiots out there that they can create a following and get people to buy. And I mean, yeah, if you just look on Kickstarter, the number of cat calendars and kinds of nonsense that get funded by people just doing ridiculous things. Yeah. And the frustrating thing is it's nobody, and I guess it's been like this on and off. If you go too hard in this direction, and you go far back enough in art history, it's all rich kids that were artists and writers and everything, the educated and the privileged. But there's, once you take away that desperation and that, giving up a comfortable life and food and a nice place to live for your art, once you give that up, and these are just boring, comfortable suburban people that are just, whatever, they, have no discomfort or no fear of, pursuing the creative life giving them any problems because mommy and daddy are going to pay for everything, or they're living off of a trust fund or whatever, then takes a lot of the edge off, and these are very uninteresting people that are telling you they're trying to tell you something about life, and that's not very interesting at all. Oof, lots of bad boxes here. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what things look like. But yeah, just in a miserable mood today, and a vicious headache all morning, so I'm surprised how pain, just like a dull pain, would just like totally destroy my mood and not let me kind of get out of, even, if you take something to kind of ease the pain signal, it's already kind of sent you into this like sour mood that's really hard to get out of. And it's all warm and wet here this week. It's really disgusting again. So I just do the same thing. Yeah, so this is a bit of a waste of time, but whatever. I have to be doing this anyhow. Yeah, I should have just skipped this week. There's no point. This is not going to go anywhere. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I have this fear of stopping. Well, I guess because, if I'm not doing this, if the streaming isn't at least trying to keep me on a schedule, then I'm just not even going to bother doing this anymore. It's kind of the only thing keeping me, even looking at it. Oh, and that was wonderful. I finally got my, this is going to be fascinating, but I finally got my Gmail to read some of my other external mail accounts, and now this stupid Gmail is full because they give you a limited, a very limited size space, for the mail storage. And they combine all of that. They combine mail and photos and, Google Drive and everything together with limited space. It's ridiculous. So all I get now is solicitation to buy more space. Yeah, insane. I think I could delete my whole inbox and not really be missing anything. But they don't give you any tools for doing that, because then you'd easily be able to manage your inbox and keep it under the free amount, but they give you no tools to actually be able to search and find out where things are. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. The whole system is very, very broken. And, that's so much of technology is based on that, just keeping you confused and ignorant. And so you have things like Squarespace and all these garbage companies trying to take advantage of what a pain in the ass it is to use WordPress, or what a pain in the ass it is to, build a website anymore. And, people are just benefiting from, systems being built by, people that aren't even human, just weaponized autism that, develop software and systems that are unusable to anybody but the most, internalized people. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I saw just a headline too that Google's finally going to be looked at for based on Android in the kind of by the U.S. government for kind of antitrust reasons, and finally they're starting to pay attention. I think the American antitrust laws have been so lapsed, and now we have this like Disney monster that owns just about every valuable pop culture property, and it's ridiculous. I don't know where the antitrust laws have been all this time, but they actually even entertained the idea of Disney buying Fox, and then it just happened. It's ridiculous. And they're going to wonder why. So then that whole thing has produced this you know, monolithic, like this horrible Disney Play streaming service that's coming out to, you know, compete with Netflix and Hulu and everything. And basically so many people have already said, I have no choice, but I have to pay for this because I have children, you know, and if it's going to be the only place where, you know, Disney things are. And that's so depressing. I mean, that's really, really horrible that we're at that point where, you know, basically to have access to any, you know, older entertainment that you used to enjoy. Well, now you have to go to one, you know, that they've consolidated enough that they've got it all in one place. And if they, you know, make it exclusive to their service, you must buy that service. And yeah, that's really ridiculous. Because, yeah, they should just turn it all over then, you know. They should just make the Disney arm of the federal government, and it will be the Bureau of Entertainment. And just you have to pay, you know, on your taxes every year to consume your entertainment. It's ridiculous. Wow, it's pretty bad. This is bad. Yeah, so that's lovely. And people I love people that are cheerleaders for companies, big, you know, Apple fans, or I don't know if there are Google fans because Google is such an ugly thing, but you know, fans of certain brands. It's absolutely ridiculous because they've done nothing, you know, to earn that, and could care less about you, you know, don't care at all if you like them or not, because most of the time they've manipulated you into being forced, you know, to use them, like iPhones have, because Google's done such a bad job of you know, hardware specs and supporting. There's just like, it's too difficult to choose anything but you know, top tier Android phone, because they're all such a mess spec wise, and so you have to do so much research, and it's just easier to go, okay, I'll just get the next iteration of the iPhone. And so they've, like, you know, kind of rationed that out, those little, you know, those small improvements for iPhones, because they know people are just too lazy and too unwilling to educate themselves to buy, you know, switch to another system, or research what phone would be usable. So once you step into that trap, you're just kind of locked into this Apple quagmire. And then if your computer goes down, like, oh, I don't want to kind of figure out, I don't want to build one, I don't want to get into that, so I'll just buy a Mac, because it'll, you know, be compatible with this, like, whole stupid ecosystem that you've, you know, dragged yourself into. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just, yeah, really, really depressing, and just taking advantage of the fact that people just don't have enough time to, you know, obsess over this garbage. It becomes your hobby, you know, like those guys that are like, oh, I like technology. Those guys that are into that. It's like, no, you don't have, that's not, you don't have to be a fan of it. Everyone is, like, forced to endure it and be immersed in it. So it's not your hobby. It's just like, you know, saying, I love to, I'm an amateur, you know, accountant. I love to do my own taxes. You don't have that as a choice. Yeah, just nauseating. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, I guess something like this, and then I can do the dozen version. I'm not even better at this when I'm drawing them side by side. I might just do something like that. Okay, so I'll do something like that. So I'll throw this over, throw these two over on. Oh, nice. And where's this one? So where's this? Here. Okay. Throw these over there. And then turn them off. Ugh, I just drew only donut boxes. God, it's hot as hell in here. Yeah, really. Miserable day. Alright, so this side I have to cut. Yeah, it's funny all my talk about motivations and things on this channel, and I'm completely at a loss on how to be interested in any of the stuff I'm working on. It's funny. All right. So let's. Nice. Okay, some kind of building materials joke. And some kind of donut boxes joke. Oh, great. Yeah, the angle on those is weird as hell. Squish them a little bit. I don't know. Looking weird. Yeah, the angle on this box is too high. Looks weird. Alright. Jesus. Alright. Let's get rid of this. Try to bring this down a little bit. Yeah, it's just looking too bizarre. Oh well. I'm not going to be able to save it, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to save it, so I may as well just go back to where it was. Alright, whatever. Alright, that's as good as it's going to get. Yeah, it looks terrible. Alright. Terrible it is. Yeah, can I... Let me see. I'll try this on a different layer. Is that pointillized filter? What is that? Stylize. I don't think that's going to give me the, because it just does. Yeah, no, it's not going to get small enough. Ah, between 3. Yeah, it's not going to give me the thing that I want because it's doing something. What else was there? As far as noise, pixelate. I don't think color or halftone does that either. Mosaic? No, not with a solid color. Wow, let's explore the filters in Photoshop. Yeah, so color halftone. Maybe if I try that with a real small size. 4. Okay. So you don't see anything. Oh, it's there. Oh, okay, wait. Let's try that. And then I can fill this, and then do this, and then do this. Let's see what I can get if I zoom in. I don't think. Oh, I just get those weird patterns. Yeah, I guess. Well, let's fill this one. And do this. Oh. This. Yeah, that's gonna make it weird to reproduce though. Oh well. Oh well. And do some stripes or something on it. And maybe like a information box or something on the side. Yeah, something like that. Oh, and then I guess we could do like the logo would be here. And then some. Maybe a little bit darker. Oh, maybe I should just take that and duplicate it. What? What? What is that? Okay. Weird. All right. And flatten that out a little bit. Okay, something like that. Donuts. Okay. Okay. no, it won't. I'm gonna have to, unless I turn this off. Yeah, then I can fill. There we go. Yeah, I wonder why October is always chosen for those stupid events, you know, Rocktober and Inktober and all that stuff. I wonder why people choose October to theme. And I think Games Workshop is doing Orktober to commemorate their Orc Codex coming out. I wonder where that's from. It might just be a slow time for... maybe this way. A slow time for business. So a way to drum up. It always is. You know, all this gimmicky stuff is just because we don't have any people visiting the restaurant or whatever during that certain time. What's going on? Oh, come on. Yeah, computer's been a little wacky recently. What the hell? Jesus. You wanna not take a minute to render everything that I do here? What's so difficult here? There we go. And then maybe this here. Yeah, for some reason. And do we want to make the boxes shiny? No, it's not gonna. Well, maybe. It kind of works. Here we go. Okay, well, we'll write that later. And what's this one? Building materials. I gotta come up with a nice brick red. Somewhere in there. Why is so taking so long? And now a wooden lumbery brown. And a nice gray. Okay, maybe we could do a little. And then just bring all this down. There we go. Okay. See how this... Oh yeah, that works pretty well. And a little bit on the wood. Yeah. Nice. Nice black shadow. There we go. Wow, look at that. Wow, this is amazing. Wow, this is amazing. I don't know what is going on here. There we go. All right. Well, let's see, what are we looking at here? 42 minutes. Fuck. All right. Yeah, I should just stop doing this as soon as possible. But I did go to the convenience store, so yeah, I guess let's do that. Okay, so here's a quickie. A quickie with some Japanese food. Just because. I don't know why I even bother doing this. Okay, here we go. Wow, there we go. Yeah, so maybe hearing that fan quite a bit. So here we are, the Japanese convenience store. So I'm going to do a quick one but real basic. And the big section that you find, and even you might be able to see it on the side here. There's always a big section in every convenience store. Sorry, let me move the mic. Every convenience store of the onigiri. All right, so usually triangular, but there's circular ones and all kinds of different shapes and sizes. But this is pretty standard, and they're all about 100 yen, 107 yen. So I don't think they've hovered around 100 yen for quite a while. But basically, this is they translate it to rice ball, but it's almost never a ball. And it's actually, the reason that it's triangular most of the time, like a rounded triangular, because the way you make it is this. So that triangular shape you're making with your hand is what makes the shape of the onigiri. And if you have a mother with small hands, you have small onigiri. If she has big hands, you have big. So it's just based on that shape that she makes with her hands. And see, that shapes the food right there. See? Haha. And so these are the prepackaged one. This is, of course, as you can see, 7-Eleven. And this is a mayonnaise and tuna one. There's a bunch of different flavors and things, and mostly seafood. Some, like, there's umeboshi inside, or yeah, I'm not sure if there's any beef or anything, but you'll get a little bit of a hint. Actually, 7-Eleven, I guess, because they're pretty international, they actually have English. I'm not going to be able to focus that, but there's actually English right here that says tuna mayonnaise, and they have a little picture, so you can actually see, because some of the seafood, of course, is only kanji, so there's no, unless you know the kanji, you're not going to know what kind of fish or what kind of eggs or whatever that is inside. So an onigiri is just a triangular block of Japanese sticky rice, wrapped in a piece of seaweed, the nori, the kind of almost blackish green nori, that sheet that you make the roll maki, like rolled sushi and things with. But if you would put that right on this wet sticky rice, and then wrap it in plastic, the seaweed, the nori itself, would be super soggy and just adhere to the rice and be very sticky. And that's not the case. I mean, so then it'd be very difficult to hold. So you have to keep the seaweed dry. So how do they do that? Well, they made this crazy packaging that's actually 2 layers of plastic wrapped inside. So actually there's a layer of plastic separating the seaweed sheet from the rice ball. So you have to open it a very specific way to kind of keep everything separated and together. So as soon as you unwrap it, then you need to eat it, because it's not going to keep the nori will just start to get all sticky or wet and limp and stick to the rice. So they give you the little instructions: 1, 2, 3. So that's the order that you're supposed to. I don't think I've opened one of these before, but this is the order you're supposed to open them in, and they give you a little tab here. So you just pull this down, right? And so that's going to kind of separate. Oh, it worked really well. So first one wraps around and makes 2 pieces, right? And so now you can see we have direct contact to very dry, very crunchy nori. And you just pull. Wow, this has worked better than it's ever worked for me in real life. You pull those sides out, and as you can see, the plastic was in between the nori and the rice, keeping it nice and dry. So it's very crispy. You can probably hear it's very crispy and dry. And ta-da! And so now you have nori that will not be stuck to the rice ball, and you can eat it. You could even, peel it off. It was, separate that whole time, just wrapped in the plastic. And now you can eat it very comfortably. It's not going to stick to your hands. It's not going to make anything weird. Not going to have a bunch of wet seaweed all over your hands. And it's an easy way to eat. And so everything, almost all of these, I think you can get plain ones that are only rice, but they're usually filled. So here, oh, and you can actually see on this side, I think. It's filled with tuna fish and mayonnaise. So wrap it all, pull it all the way around, and then pull the corners off, and you're good to go. Just try to, it's difficult, don't hold it too tightly, because you have to pull the, you're pulling plastic off of the seaweed paper and the rice at the same time. If you hold it too close, it won't slide, and then you'll end up, tearing it all apart. And once that malfunctions, once that doesn't work well, then you just have to it's really miserable to take it apart if it didn't tear well or whatever. But just tear it around and then pull off those corners very gently, because you're kind of pulling 2 layers out from between things. You have to be very, very gentle about it, but and also not drop it, because you can't do this, because then you're not holding anything. So try not to drop it on the ground. But it's an amazingly convenient way, and it usually doesn't work all that well. But yeah, it's pretty incredible. And sometimes you'll get little pieces of seaweed. Oh, like you can see here, little pieces of seaweed still stuck in between the paper, so it just snags like the little corners, because it's a square and it's in a square kind of little envelope. And sometimes the little corners break off inside there. But try not to, have too much of it break off, or you're just going to be holding a handful of wet rice. So that's it. Just follow the directions, and now it looks like even more and more they're going to be in English and probably Chinese and Korean as well. But an easy way, and it's really filling. Like 2 of those is like a light meal. So, for 200 yen, you can eat pretty easily, and it's very healthy. They don't put anything too crazy. I guess mayonnaise is the most unhealthy thing they put in there. But for the most part, it's not too salty or not too sweet or anything. So good stuff. And that's it. So let's go back to writing these goddamn cartoons. All right. So a little bit of coffee. All right. Let's try very economic. You can't get away that easily. They were completely Unashamedly materialistic. Unashamedly. They, not the. It's one of those things that spell check won't catch. They were completely and unashamedly materialistic. Because they're building materials. Oh, that's a great one. Okay. And so something about half a dozen and a dozen. Yeah, it doesn't quite look like half, does it? Oh, well. So, yeah. So, let's see here. Talk about like twice as sweet or twice as much, or yeah. Huh. Yeah, something about how it was not proportionately half. Yeah, I don't know. Half a dozen. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Half a dozen, a dozen. A dozen donuts was so a standard that half a dozen a dozen donuts was such a standard. Yeah, I don't know what. Oof. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Twice as many. Yeah, I might just have to go with twice as many donuts. A half dozen donuts. Oof. Okay. Left no. A half dozen donuts left no room for error. Dozen donuts. Oh, okay. A dozen donuts seemed excessive, while a half dozen was just not enough. Okay, there we go. A dozen donuts seemed excessive, while half a dozen was just not enough. There we go. Okay, so somewhere in between. A perfect number is somewhere in between. What they won't sell you, like the number of hot dogs and the number of buns, whatever. All right. A dozen donuts seemed excessive, while a half dozen was just not enough. And they were completely and unashamedly materialistic. Okay. There we go. So those are the cartoons for this week. And I don't know if I'm going to be back next week, but enjoy the archive if I'm not, and yeah, when I've got some energy and some desire to actually do this. So thanks for watching, and if you would like to motivate me into actually caring about this again, how about a Patreon? How about becoming a patron at patreon.com/abusecartoons? Signed books and original art for you. Whoa, sorry, the camera's got signed books and original art. Whoa. And that would really help me feel like there was a point to doing this. And otherwise, I will possibly see you next week, or maybe never again. Goodbye.